Hey everybody, my name is Zach and you're watching Car Talk with Zach, and this is the new 2024 Mazda CX-90. This is Mazda's new flagship three-row SUV, and I'm standing here in front of the Golf Course Superintendents Association headquarters here in Lawrence, Kansas, just because it's just kind of a nice backdrop. But I wanted to kind of show you around this CX-90. This is an all-new vehicle for Mazda, and this happens to be the launch color for the new CX-90. This is a really important vehicle for Mazda. This is replacing the CX-9, which is kind of always been Mazda's larger SUV, and it's been a very popular vehicle for them. And you can absolutely see Mazda's design language as I walk around this new CX-90. Absolutely beautiful color. Again, this is the launch color. I always kind of appreciate the launch color for new vehicles, and this one came to us at Lear Mazda here in Lawrence, Kansas, in this launch color. So really beautiful. I love the use of chrome around this huge kind of smiling grille. I mean, again, when you look at the front of the new CX-90, you can absolutely tell this is definitely a new Mazda, but it does have some familiar design language. So you do have active air vents here. Those are actually active and do work. Nice big old grille that's pulling air into the intercooler. You've got a nice little LED running light here. This glows white, and this is also your turn signal. High intensity discharge headlights. You've got your front parking sensors. Also, your adaptive cruise control is up here. There's also a camera. This does have 360-degree camera. Coming around the side, you can see these absolutely gorgeous 20-inch wheels. These wheels are really nice, and I can't speak highly enough about how they look on this car. Absolutely beautiful. We've got this nice little badge here. I do wish this was chrome, but it does say inline 6. I think this would look better in chrome than it does this black plastic, but it kind of mimics the black plastic that you have around the wheel well and running along the side. On the bottom side of the black plastic running along the two doors, you've got a nice little chrome strip there, and you can see it's flanked with the Mazda brand there. But just the overall shape of the CX-90 is absolutely beautiful. I really do think it's got really nice proportions. Love the use of brushed aluminum and chrome around the windows. It's a really stunning vehicle, and then I love it in this dark color. Coming around the back, I feel like Mazda did a really nice job designing this vehicle. I'm getting kind of some Acura hues, some BMW hues back here. Those aren't bad brands to pull from. You do have LED brake lights and running lights here, LED backup lights, and LED turn signals all built into the housing here. This is just a reflector. I do wish this lit up at night. I feel like this would look nice at night if this was lit up, but you've got your backup camera or backup light there. Everything just looks very nice and proportioned. Back here you've got backup sensors built into the bumper, another nice use of chrome there along the bottom. Overall, just really quite a stunning vehicle. Now these CX-90s now have 3 engine choices. This has the 3.3 liter turbo inline 6. There's also the Turbo S, which is a little higher output inline 6, and they also make this in a plug-in hybrid as well. As spec, this vehicle has adequate power. I think it's 260 horsepower. I'll confirm that here in just a minute, with 332 pound-feet of torque, but it's adequate. That turbocharged inline 6 is nice. So you do have keyless entry, and inside the vehicle really is quite wonderful. It's very well proportioned, very well equipped. Nice use of, I don't know it's kind of this kind of brown color, maybe kind of a copper color seat trim. That's also mimicked here in the air vents. But this absolutely beautiful, beautiful, you know, faux wood. Everything's very soft, high quality materials throughout the Mazda fully electric gauge cluster, and you know, kind of Mazda's signature center stack there. You've got all your radio, and this is not a touch screen here. I wish it was Mazda, but you do control everything here from the center console. So full panoramic sunroof, which is really, really nice. Lets in the air and the sun. You can see here you've got 2 rows, so captain seats in the second row, and then I have the seats folded down back there, but there's a 3rd row back there as well. It's going to be pretty tight for adults, but should work for kids. And that captain seat in the second row is really nice if you are going to be using that 3rd row to be able to get kids back there. Those second row seats do slide forward and back, so you can give people a little more or less leg room. And it's set up kind of for stadium seating. They set up a little higher. So yeah, we'll go ahead and turn this thing on and just listen to the quality of the tone. I know that's kind of a small thing, but it has just a really quality feel about it. Just wanted me to buckle my seatbelt. So you do have wireless Bluetooth. I have my phone set up here. I'm streaming music from the band of Lawrence the band, but you don't have wireless Apple CarPlay, which is a little bit of a bummer. You do have wireless charging here, so my phone's sitting here on this wireless charging, and that's nice. A couple cup holders. This is your MI drive. This will put your vehicle, so you can see, in sport mode. You can see everything turns red. That's just going to firm up your gas pedal, sharpen your gear shifts. You know, everything kind of gets a little sharper and a little more entertaining in sport mode. But I like how the fully electronic gauge cluster changes, which is nice. Going back into the MI drive, you've also got normal mode, and you can see how it changes there. And then finally off-road mode. I mean, light off-roading, I would say, but you know, I really kind of appreciate these electronic gauge clusters because they're just fully customizable. But yeah, so you've got all your HVAC controls here. This really kind of nice nub gear shifter. So you put your foot on the brake, you slide over for reverse, neutral, drive, neutral, reverse, back over for park. You do have a 360-degree monitor here, and backup sensors, as well as guidance lines which move with the steering wheel. So what you would expect. This car is priced at about $55,000 as spec'd, so that's about what you would expect. So you know, as far as the price point, you know, I think it's pretty well proportioned and appointed. It really does have just really quite a beautiful design language. I mean, it really does. It's very unique, very kind of quintessential Mazda, but everything looks really nice. So let me move the GoPro around and we'll take you for a ride. I do appreciate how this car sounds from the inside. That turbocharged inline 6 does have a nice sound. So let me mount the camera and we'll go for a little spin. Okay, well, now that we're ready for a little drive, it is hot today. You do have ventilated and heated seats. You have a heated steering wheel, but sorry if the airflow is a little much. It's going to be a warm day today in Lawrence, Kansas, but that's okay. We've all been wishing for warmer weather. Here we are. So I am going to put it in sport mode because it's more fun. Listen to this car. really nice kind of throaty sound to it. This is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. You do have paddle shifters here behind the steering wheel, so you can change those gears as you see fit. The sport mode will hold those gears a little bit longer, let you get high into the RPMs, just to extract all the power out of the CX-90. But you know, 280 horsepower, 332 pound-feet of torque in the base engine, if you will. It's not the fastest SUV on the market. I do think the Turbo S is going to give you know, marginally more horsepower and torque, but you know, I think 0 to 60 in the low 6s, I would guess, in this vehicle, maybe 6.5 seconds. But it does have kind of Mazda's zoom persona. Kind of flat through the corners, not a lot of body roll, a sporty, really kind of firm feel. And you know, this car is going to compete really nicely with a Toyota Highlander or a Honda Pilot, Ford Explorer maybe to some extent. Maybe if you lean just a little bit upstream to like an Acura MDX. But you know, this car, as Mazdas have for a long time, just kind of has a little more attitude than any of those vehicles. That's why you buy a Mazda, is because you like that peppy, you know, sporty driving experience. And this one, you know, Mazda's done a good job of creating an all-new vehicle, but really making sure it's still a Mazda at its core. Gears pull really nicely. Mazdas have, in their turn signals, they kind of flash orange and then fade away. And it's interesting, even the turn signal here on the gauge cluster do the same thing. They flash and then fade. Next time you're behind a Mazda, see if you notice that. So, jumping on the highway here, running about 70 miles an hour, give or take, and there is some wind noise. It's a breezy day today, but it's not excessive. I do have the sunroof is closed, but the wind or the sun shade is open. So I assume if I close that, it'll get a little quieter. Gear shifts are quick. Excuse me, allergies are heavy. Yeah, gear shifts down are quick and peppy. We'll do a little hard pull here getting back on the highway, but you know, the vehicle to me is about what I would expect. There are a few things that I'm not crazy about. You know, connected navigation, you have to, is an option. You have to option up for that. You know, Mazda, come on. It's, you know, 2023. Throw navigation into your cars. This is a $55,000 car. You kind of want it to have navigation system. Pulling power you need to get around cars or you know, passing power on the highway. So kind of other gripes, I wish this was touchscreen. You know, if you're used to driving a Mazda, you're used to this center, you know, thing, but it's a little quirky to me. I know you get used to it, but it's just a little quirky to me. I'm going to go into normal mode now. I don't know, it's just a little quirky to me. I wish it was more integrated. At night, last night I drove around a little bit in the CX-90. It does have ambient lighting, but it really is restricted to just the floorboards kind of below there's light under the dash, under the seats. They help you see where your feet are. But you know, at a $55,000 price point, it'd be nice to have more ambient lighting, like you can see in some of the other brands. Honestly, that's getting to be maybe about all of my complaints about this car. You know, you've got blind spot monitoring and cross traffic alert, both front and rear. Lane keep assist, which is really aggressive. It really wants you centered in the lane. You know, it's a safe vehicle. It's a nice kind of mid-size luxury car. I have to say, Mazda's done well with the CX-90. I just really do love the design, the overall design of the interior of this car. It really is. It really does feel nice and high end. It really, really does. So yeah, I mean, it's a good option if you're in the mid 55 or mid 50s. Kind of mid-sized luxury price point. If you're looking for something, go check out the new CX-90. You know, it's worth it. It's worth a drive. See if it's for you. Some people might not like the firmness of it as compared to like a Highlander, but you know, you'll see 50 Highlanders for every CX-90 you see. So if you want to stand out a little bit, you know, the car is beautiful. I've had people, I've been driving it this weekend, and you know, people are curious, what is it? You know, you can tell it's a Mazda, but it's an all-new Mazda. So like, what is that? I've had people kind of pull up into my driveway, not pull up, but as they're walking by, walk into the driveway to look at it, and they want to know how expensive it is, because it looks like it's an expensive vehicle. So yeah, otherwise, I do want to get out and show you the rear cargo area and the third row, and what kind of cargo there is available when the third row is up. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Next, I've got a friend who's bought recently a Hyundai Elantra N, not the N line, the full Daddy Rabbit N with all the goodies. So I'm gonna drive it next week. We have a Golf R in the inventory of the dealership, and as long as it's still available, I'll drive it next week. So we've got some fun stuff coming, but you know, I always appreciate you watching Car Talk with Zach. So let me find a good spot, and we'll reconvene to talk about cargo. So here I am back home, and I thought I would show you the back of the CX-90. So with the third row up, you've got, you know, decent space back here actually. It's, you know, not the largest. It's a front license plate frame if you want that, but it's not the largest, but in its segment, it's you know, it's respectable and easy fold. Third row, you just pull the cord, headrest goes down, and down it goes. Same thing to lift it up, just grab the cord, pull it up, and replace the headset. So you can see you've got pretty small area back here. This is probably better for kids, but you know, this will seat up to 8. This, as it's set up, is set up for 7, but you can equip this with a bench in the second row. Coming around to the other side here, you do have full sunshades in the second row, which is nice to keep the sun out of the baby's eyes. And you know, again, really nice soft subtle leather back here. And you can see how these seats slide forward and back, which is nice. So yeah, very well appointed, very nice CX-90. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video.